got the Conan on the screen. I like it. Oh, got turned down. It's right there in the mic now, it's feeding back. We gonna start, dog. Had to make sure I'm not causing issues in the show.
Make sure everybody can hear me.
Pick up the phone and I can see.
Alright.
I can be clicking.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I wasn't talking at that point.
I can hear you good. I appreciate it. Of course, she will get the alert.
Yeah.
At least she's supported, though. I love it.
Why didn't anyone tell me what time? Shoot, hold on, let me get... Didn't I just text in the group that we all are a part of?
I thought you did, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just text between me and you.
That was. I'm looking at it now. It was between just me and you.
Well, that's all right. You can just surprise entries. It makes it fun. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and go ahead and get started. Instead, I sound like I'm in a hole. Let me adjust something real quick. I know how to fix that. Glad she on there to tell me. I definitely don't be wanting to sound weird on here. Gotta get it fixed. Get it fixed before we start. There we go. That should be better right there. All right.
Your
already in.
camera's all jacked up.
Hmm?
Your camera is all jacked up. It's all glitchy. It's all glitchy.
Oh, yeah. If I'm not having internet issues, it's possible. It's like storming close by, so it might be part of that. If I can just roll with it from now, man. We are live.
Sound like you're in a hole.
Is it sounding like that right now?
Oh, whenever I'm listening to it right now, it does kind of sound like that. But it's both of us. It's not just you.
Oh no,
it's not.
On my end.
Didn't you hear me? I said it's not just you.
My end sound fine. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to get this thing started because got people tuning in. And thank y'all for that. Welcome once again. We are live on Facebook and YouTube for another episode of the Get Down. I'm not going to wait for the hammer. And that dude over there who's adjusting this stuff is Snake. I'm going to introduce him myself because I can. And oh, look at that surprise intro. That's Mingo D, like right on cue. Right whenever we introducing people, Mingo D is in the building. We're about to talk some games. We're going to talk some game news that could be good or bad, or make you happy, make you sad. But it's all nerd stuff, so we're going to talk about it. So, jumping right into it head first, we're going to start right off with God of War. God of War, and I just saw this, just posted like an hour ago, is delayed until 2022. You know, a lot of people are gonna be upset about that because I for one, I love God of War. I think it's a brilliant game. It's a beautiful game every time it comes out. But they said that they felt like they needed more time because in the heart of development was during COVID, and of course the safety of the employees is more important than developing the game. So they kind of shifted the table, and shifted the time frame. They don't want to put out a crap game is what they're getting at. They don't want to get into a habit like some other people have done. So they've just decided to push it till next year. They have not given a date. They just gave time frame of 2022. But there is some silver lining to that. Now that it's being pushed to 2022, they are going to make it available for PS4 as well instead of just PS5. Originally, there was no rumor about PS4 at all. People were worried, but yes, it is going to come to PS4 as well as PS5. So, a little bit of silver lining. Still kind of sucks. No God of War for a whole other year, but, I'm sure whatever comes out, whatever they do decide to release will be fantastic. And you'll be able to play it on the current new gen or the previous gen. You'll have an option because there's still some of us that have not been able to get PlayStation 5 because you can't find them. But, hey, they hear it, they hear what you're saying, and they're developing for you. So, life is such, but like I said, silver lining. Now, moving on to another game of interest, No Man's Sky. They just had a big update, like lots of stuff added to the game. Well, they just did another update, and it's called Prisms. And the bulk of this update, from what I saw, is a lot of visual upgrades, a lot of contextual stuff, and it looked really, really good. I was watching it on my phone. I have the latest iPhone, and looking at that, the video itself looked like it was running in 4K, and you could see like rain droplets, they would hit the ground, like it affected the way the grass looked, the way the grass, dust in the air, it looked like dust, like it just looked like a big blob of color. It looked like an actual sandstorm or like something crashed and the dust blew up. Like you could see it swirled around the character, like it felt like you were in a dust storm. It was really, really visually appealing. They also showed some scenes of them going to some of the caves and some of the planets. The lighting was very, very dynamic and much more crisp. Everything was very, very visual, like very, very visible. No haze to it, no distortion, none of it. It was awesome to see. They also added mounts now that you can actually, like some of the animals that you can learn about, you can now, if they're flying animals, you can tame them and you can ride them as mounts. So now you have the ability when you're on the planet, if you don't want to use your ship, you can have a mount that you were friends with, and ride them. And I thought that part was pretty cool because there was always all these animals and like you could scan them and you could learn about them whenever you're on all these planets. And like I was wondering I learned about all this, but what is the point? Now there's somewhat of a point. You can learn about said animals, and if they fly, you can eventually get close enough with those animals and get them to respect you and trust you enough to where you can ride them as a mount on said planet. So there is that. There were some other graphical upgrades that they made as far as the look of your characters. They added that a while back where you could actually see your character, see your person. They used to be not a thing. Everything was first person. It was, you just couldn't see, you saw a shadow of what your guy was supposed to look like. And now you can see a person. There was a visual upgrade for that. Their suit looked way more realistic. It had, some of the poses and different things that you can see, lots and lots of detail. Like I said, this patch was very, very, very detail oriented, but well worth it. It was enough new features and enough improvements that they made a trailer about it. You can see over on IGN. So do definitely go check that out. I know I'm excited about it. I think that Snake is excited about it. I want to get his opinion to see what he really thinks. I don't know if he's seen it yet. I just saw it today. But I know we played No Man's Sky before. And, you know, this is some of those things that I'm pretty sure I heard him talk about a mount before. So I want to get his opinion about that. Like, what do you think about being able to have a mount now?
In No Man's Sky? Is that what you said? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got, you know, like buggies and you know, like I don't need to ride one of the animals. Like, I don't want to go near those animals. Those things look creepy and like they like cow feet and it's crazy. Like might have such a crazy mixture like cow feet and a duck face, or you know, like it's like crazy. I don't know. I don't want to go near those things. I mean, well, the blob ones I saw that one time, that would be pretty cool to ride. You just like blobbing around, but I don't know, man. Like I feel like that's a waste of a update, like space. Like I think we could have done better than that. But I don't know. Just me personally. I mean, I'd rather just fly on my ship or like ride on my little go-karts and stuff. And Mingo's talking, but I forget. I guess he forgets he's muted. Like he was talking. I saw him. I think he was talking earlier, but couldn't hear him.
And I was like mumbling about stuff that doesn't belong to the show. So disregard. No Man's Sky. Cow feet. Let's go.
No, like, and to be fair, like, the only thing I saw, it looked like the only thing they were saying that you were able to actually ride, they all flew or hovered above the ground. So that I saw nothing that actually walked on the ground that you could actually mount. So that may be a thing. I can't be wrong. They just did not show that. And the narrator of said video was just kind of talking about, you know, oh, you can ride the flying mounts and all that. And that was their big thing. You know, they did show this huge, I meant to say this too. They showed in this video, like I said, it's on IG and catch it. They showed this huge, like, salamander snake looking thing like crashing into the planet. It's like a hole, and that's what made the dust particles come up while they were riding them out.
Yeah.
And that's what they used to demonstrate the upgrade in graphics. And you see like the dust swirling around you while you were riding the mountain and stuff like that. It was crazy. I hadn't seen that creature yet while playing the game, but I know it kind of freaked me out whenever I was watching it play. I was like, well, what in the hell is that? I've never seen that. It's huge. And this person is on this little flying mount thing, and this thing just hops out, and I'm like, oh, while crashing to the ground and dust everywhere, like red sand everywhere. It was crazy. But, I don't know. I feel like it'd be kind of cool. Like, if I don't want to waste the fuel flying around on my ship, and I don't have said buggy, then I can, you know, I can just kind of befriend one of the creatures and hop on and ride that around the damn planet, picking up stuff I didn't get, and take it back to my ship, and then get in the ship when I'm ready to leave, and like use the fuel for that. Like, I try to find the you know, everything's got silver lining, and you try to find the positive in what could be a waste. I can see his point. It's like, there's other stuff you could have added. You know, I don't know what you add to No Man's Sky as far as, I mean, you could add maybe a new quest or something, but I don't know, but, you know, it's not
hey,
like...
Hammer. I got a question. Okay, so can these animals, can they breathe in space?
I think they did not say. They just said that while you were on the planet, you could ride
because I was thinking that this, I mean, I don't play No Man's Sky, but just to kind of just throw it out there, maybe they're trying to set up something to where you befriend the animal, maybe you like can own it like a pet or whatever, and then you can get ready to go to space, and then it can pull your ship, or you can get like a bunch on to pull your ship if like you get in a bunch, get in a pinch or something like that, something bad happens, you can call the animal, boom, it'll pull. I mean, I don't know, but they said it can't breathe in space, so I mean, I don't know if there's any space creatures out there, but maybe you can befriend some of them, boom, they pull your ship, and then you can keep going, I don't know. But I don't know how to play No Man's Sky works, so never mind.
What I'm curious about.
Turn into No Man's Santa Claus.
They can breathe in the face. I mean, it's pretty realistic. Like if you jump out of your ship, and you don't have like a helmet on, you float, you die. But I'm curious. So they did not say it here. They just said that you could befriend. You have to get comfortable enough with this said creature that you're going to use as a mount. Like you have to build a trust. So I'm curious if you can put this creature on your ship and take it with you when you go to other planets, because that would kind of lead into some other things. Because if you could take that creature from that planet to a different planet, or just say a different galaxy altogether, and then have that creature on a different planet that's not from that planet, but it's there with you because you have it as a mount, and then it interacts with the other creatures. Like that's where I'm thinking. I'm like, yo, like what happens there? Like what happens if you like get off the mount and then that mount sees some other creature over there, and then it starts to like interact with it. What if they don't like each other and they just start like fighting or just go at it right through?
Or they breed and create new creatures.
I mean, a whole nother creature. Like,
whole nother one.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I just brought this in. I brought this thing here, and
they don't need no other types of creatures. The system does the breeding by itself just fine.
He's not wrong, man, because that game is ridiculous as far as how much of it there is. Like we've talked about it before, that game is infinite. I don't care if there's anybody that tells me they have went to every star, which every star is basically another galaxy, they are a liar. You can't. You cannot. You would have to sit and do nothing forever and just nothing but play No Man's Sky to even attempt to do this. Because every time you go to a different star, when you get to that star, if you open the map and look, and you're at that star, there's like 15 other stars that you couldn't even see before because you just got to that one. So it's like, I think it just continuously over and over again creates like it just infinite galaxy after galaxy, and each one of those galaxies has, I don't think I've been to any one of them that had less than 2 planets. Like at least 2 planets, and then how many other moons per each planet. It's infinite. So, but graphic-wise, as far as the update, because got off track a little bit. As far as the update, I thought it was a decent update. Yeah, there's some things they could have did, but it is intriguing, and I want to try to check it out and see, what all these mounts are going to be able to do once that hits. And I think I will check it out. So I want to know. Just want to know, like, I can have this mount, but is it portable? Can I store it on my ship? Does it belong to me no matter wherever I go? Can I take it to interact with other animals and create new animals? Like, I want to know. So leave a comment down below. If you play No Man's Sky, maybe if you get your hands on this before I do, you can let me know some of this. We'll definitely talk about it again. You can maybe come on the show and talk about it. Because it is an interesting game, and it's something that I know multiple people play. And I've had quiet conversations with people at work and other places about that game. So feel free, like I said, comment down below. Let us know what you think about that. Now, FarCry. We talked about FarCry last time. But there's 2 things we need to discuss. Number 1, FarCry, original FarCry in VR. Or it's a Ubisoft original, we say that. But it's FarCry VR. And it's going to be a virtual experience. There's not a lot of details on it, but it is a thing. It's going to happen. They have it, they're going to have VR and play FarCry. I think it's going to be its own little experience. That's the way I kind of took it from the little short video I saw. But it is FarCry into VR, which is another now video game that is being added into the VR collection, just slowly getting bigger and bigger. We've talked about this numerous times. I think they're starting to be more and more comfortable in the VR realm. They're like, hey, there's this market. There's a lot of people that have Oculus and all these different ones, PlayStation VR. We need to take advantage of these people that have this and have PCs that have headsets. And FarCry could be, I think Far Cry personally, I think Far Cry could be done better even than Red Dead in VR. Red Dead VR is gonna be kind of tricky. Far Cry, I think you can get away with Far Cry. I think it'll be a little bit easier than Red Dead. Red Dead, there's things. There's things in Red Dead I'm curious about. But Far Cry in VR, thumbs up for sure. For sure, want to see that. I'll be looking for more of the footage. What I saw looked good. But it also, you want to? What you say? Oh, I thought you said that. Guess that was the TV. It's on the TV. You gotta notice he's got a little Conan going on there. I'm not mad at that at all. Conan is dope. I watched I'm still downloading it because it's 106 gigs or whatever it is. Ridiculous. But I watched the little intro trailer, which is pretty cool. It's real, barbaric, pretty bloody. But in other Far Cry news, they released gameplay of Far Cry 6. And as we thought, yes, it was stunning. It's very, very interesting. I'm sold. I'm 100% sold. I'm just letting you know because he was like, yes, they did. I need your opinion right now on what you saw.
Shout out, number one. I mean, I know, only because it's 2021 and, people are going to be talking about it anyway. First female protagonist, and they did a very good job. They didn't do that whole thing of we're going to cater to a certain crowd or not crowd. They just made a female that can seem like she can be in this type of world and this type of war that can, be badass and say, look, I'm here and I can fight and I can do, and it's like, makes sense. It's kind of like Black Widow in Avengers. It's like she fits and this woman fits, makes sense. Man, I'm loving it. I'm loving the gameplay. Just all of it. Just I'm gonna talk about the funniest thing first, and I'm gonna let Hammer talk about all the big amazing things of it. But you watching me? You watching me? Hey, Macarena gun. I was like, what? With CDRs. For all my young people who don't know what CDRs are. CDRs are, when we used to download music that we wanted on there that we didn't necessarily want to buy. But that's another story for another time. But yeah, that's what they have on their CDRs playing Macarena, and she has like a whole bunch of them. And then just the fight in itself, all the different types of weapons and things you're able to do, they just keep upgrading and upgrading from the last two Far Cry. Now, Far Cry New Vegas is one of my favorites, and then they topped that with like Far Cry 4, which, Far Cry 4 kind of, to me, New Vegas and that was kind of on the same page. Some people say Far Cry 4 was better, and technically, with spec-wise it was, and then now this new Far Cry is just like, They just keep upping the ante every time. Far Cry 5 was great. This one is like, okay. And it's just, for one, okay, I'm just those little gameplay. You can kick now. I mean, you can kick, you can grab, you can do all these other things. I'm like, wow, you can do extra stuff now. Like, you have different ways of fighting and going about how you're going to do things. I was like, okay, different ways of attacking and going about how you're going to do things. And now, I'm not sure if I'm correct. I think it's some type of, no, I don't think, I want to say it was a moral system in there, but it might not be a moral system there. But regardless of that, just the combat alone, the Macarena gun, they have a female protagonist that makes sense. And then you have to go in there and do what you gotta do. I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I'm gonna let Hammer talk about more of it, because he's probably played more Far Cry than I have. I only played, like I said, 2. I played in Vegas 4. I didn't get a chance to play 5, but I'm gonna let Hammer take it away. Go ahead, man. It's great Far Cry.
Man, I mean, you said pretty much everything I was gonna say, especially with my great man, bro. As soon as I heard that, I was like, bro. I was like, no, they didn't. That is, as cheesy as that is, it's still fantastic in a way, just because I guess telling my age again. It's kind of one of the things. It's like, yo, I can walk around and like shoot people with a gun while it says the market limit. Like, this is great. You can't. It's not like I'm not gonna play the whole game and use this gun, but there's gonna be times, there's gonna be places where I'm like, yep, market rate gun. I'm basically doing this, and I'm gonna get my laugh out of it, and I feel like it was a nice addition. It's cheesy. It is cheesy, but it's good cheese. It's good cheese. It's not like
grilled cheese.
Yeah, it ain't like imitation cheese. It's like real cheese that you can appreciate. That's it. Thank you. That was it. But no, I mean, like I said, visually, it's an awesome game. And you are right, female protagonist, and yes, I'm all for that. It changes. What would be the word? As it is thunder in my house. It changes the normal pattern of what they do. It's always like male protagonists. I like most games, male. It kind of shakes up, the monotony in there being, this is where I was put monotony, in there being male protagonists. So this is cool, especially in the FarCry setting. And I'm still, I gotta play it. I gotta play the game. Like I said, my boy Giancarlo. Hey, that dude he's a hell of an actor. Again, he's acting in a video game now that people can appreciate. So it's gonna be nice. It's already nice. The little bit I saw.
Yeah.
Yes. Hell yes. As long as that story lives up to that little snippet that they showed, they got another award-winning game coming, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
And then don't forget that speaking of that story, I'll be in there trying to get breath. They had alligators. I think you can use the alligators. If I'm right, just like in the other game, you have different animals and stuff you can call on and use. I think you can use the alligators and have them attack certain people a certain way. So that's dope. You can just kind of like have an alligator, wow, boom, boom. Because I don't think we have alligators before, or crocodiles, whatever they are.
I don't think so. There's always something else. What alligators? But that is interesting if they decide to go with the alligator, which is cool. Like, it adds a different element, definitely something I'll be trying. Just sit there and watch somebody get mauled by an alligator. Like, I think that'd be dope. So,
now, I'm going to spit out some numbers. Now, these aren't genuine numbers. I'm just going to spit them out. This is just my take on it. If, let's say, this is just an estimate, let's say you played let's say you played FarCry 5. Let's say FarCry 5 was, I don't know, a 3-hour game. You was able to, if you played it nonstop, you was able to beat it in 3 hours, maybe off and on, maybe 4 or 5 hours. Let's just say that's how it was. This game, I predict is going to be, nonstop. It's going to take you 4 hours, maybe 5, and then off and on, it's going to take you 6 to 12. Why do I say that? Because they showed something in the game that I was like, that really, really sold me on it, or whatever. And I think it's going to end, and it's going to sell a lot of people, because it's the thing that's going on with a lot of games now. It's technically open world. They showed the scenes where he was walking as her, and he was able to see that you were like at a swamp place at one point. Then he said he was going to move from the swamp area to an old town, like a village part. Then from the village part to the actual city, and then another part where he was going to be in like the boat in the sea. And I was like, what? And it's like, so it's bigger than all the other Far Cries. It's extremely big. So, and then they showed the map. I'm trying to remember now. I can't remember everything about the map, but when it showed the map, it showed every place that you can go, and like side missions and things like that. So this is technically an open world game. It is linear as all Far Cries are, but apparently you can veer off, go do some stuff, and come back. Which, like I said, it's open world is becoming a thing. But I like how they're doing. I like how they're keeping a singular story. You can do the story if you want to, but then again, you can just do wild out, do what you want, and still open it to where you can craft and do however you want to. You can make. What can you do? You can pretty much cause like you and your buddies to go in and attack and take here, or because I'm assuming John Call he's the villain, so I'm assuming he's gonna probably have factions or bad guys all around, and you probably can decide, oh, we're gonna take his base over here, this base, that base, but all of those things may have, some conflict to it. I'm assuming, but other than that, like I said, the game is open world. I'm excited about that because that's the second open world game I saw today. Well, not today, but last week. That and that
Dynamite.
Yeah, the second game, Dying Light 2. That game is made too. We're not talking about that. We're talking about FarCry, which, like I said, it looks good. I'm sold. And back to VR. I know you said something about VR. I agree, bro. I think it would be really good in VR. And I say that because FarCry is already technically it is a first-person game. I think there's moments where you can shift between third person, but it's technically a first-person game, and it always has been. So, and with the new consoles coming out, and with PCs just getting better and better, and what they've been doing with the headsets, they've been tweaking the headsets. Like, for example, the Oculus now is positioned to where you do, if I'm right, you do not have that blur anymore. To where if you put on a headset and you're moving around a lot, you won't get that motion blur. Everything's supposed to stay right in front of you and stay where it needs to be fluidly. So if they continue to do that with the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and then when they get further along in their in their life cycle, I can just see VR just being a really impressive thing. Especially, everybody gets those type of controllers that the HTC and the Oculus has, to where you can just go pick one up. Oh, I broke my controller, and go pick another one up, and then you're able to pick up stuff, move stuff around in the game. You don't have to use your controller, and you can be that person and move around, and it feels like you're there. Like, I'm down with that. I'm 100% down with that. So if they do it and it works out, sign me up. I just gotta get one of them thingies first. So.
I agree. I think, like I said, VR is the next step, and I think they're beginning to trust it a little bit more. I think it's where developers were with it. I don't think trusted is the wrong term. I think maybe they were waiting to see how it would go over with the consumers first. Like, oh, VR, like some people, and it is still like, there's going to be people that want to sit on the couch and just hold a controller and play the game. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, as much as I like VR, I'm still typically that type of gamer where I'm just like, nah, bro, just give me a controller in my hand, I'm going to sit down, the TV is right there, and I'm going to play the game. Like, that's kind of where I'm at as far as the game. Like I said, I think VR is a very, very intuitive thing, and I think it's gonna take off. And there's certain things in VR. I've tried VR. Me and Snake went and did VR when he came down for my birthday. We did it, and it was fun. And I see the draw to it. It's just I'm not always gonna want to be, with this thing on my head and these controllers and moving around and doing this. It's not gonna always be me. Sometimes I just want to control it and a TV screen and play the game. And there's nothing wrong with it. And there's nothing wrong with people that want to exclusively play everything in VR. Like, I get it. I understand the immersion with having the headset on. When you turn, it's like turning the controller in the game. When you turn and look, you see, what you would see if you had to use a stick and turn it. And you see that for real, but your whole body is turning so good with it. So it makes it cool. Like, it's neat. It's a neat deal. But I think they were waiting to see exactly how well they were going before they started to really develop for it. And now that I think that they see that people are into it enough, I think we'll start seeing more and more games go ahead and get VR. And I don't think we're at a place to get day one titles in VR as well, like where they're going to say PlayStation 5, Series X, and VR. I think we're still heavily console, but I do see a lot of these games being ported over later on for, VR at some point. Like they said, they created this experience for VR for FarCry. Red Dead is going to go VR. those games are already, those games are already out, and they're, especially Red Dead is already out, was established, and then they're like, okay, let's go ahead and add this aspect. So I think we're a little bit far away from day one release, but it is coming. I think it is coming one day. They will have it.
Yeah, plus it's just like you said, some games, I mean, like you said, some people gonna want controllers, and when you think about it, it makes sense though, because it's like, some games just, in my opinion, no matter what you do, unless you get like Sword Art Online and you like knocked out like that, there's just no way you're gonna be able to do that VR. I mean, think of like a Devil May Cry or even a God of War. I mean, you doing all those flips and jumps and power moves, you holding in the air and all that at that speed and that. No, there's no way. People are going to throw up. There's no way you can push all of that. There's no way someone can hit like a 99,000 combo and just go. And in VR, I just don't see that working out. How can your something's gonna be off? There's no way your hands or feet, or if you have the whole suit, whatever, is gonna be able to follow along with those animations or whatever. Something's gonna be off. But games like you said, FarCry, Red Dead, maybe a Resident Evil title, maybe a driving simulation, maybe something along those lines, something that seems real world. Now I'm interested to see maybe a Halo, maybe on some aspects, because sometimes Halo can get a little crazy. Maybe a Destiny sometimes, because Destiny can get a little crazy. Maybe a Skyrim if they don't, because I would like to see,
At some point that will happen. I'm with you in this. At some point you'll see a Halo VR. At some point you'll see a Skyrim VR. Skyrim, I would suspect, would be a little sooner even than like Halo, because Halo is still a lot moving around, so a lot going on.
Yeah.
Skyrim, while it's complete fantasy, is still slow enough to where I think you can play it in VR, because it's not as fast paced. I mean, don't get me wrong, in a fight scene, you got these spells going and all this, and the people really still aren't fast whenever you're doing that. Like the Skyrim, there's just a lot of it going on at one time. People casting spells and shooting their magic and fire and all this extra stuff. There's a dragon. Like, it's still in more of a realistic time, like a real time. It's not like mega fast like you would be like in God of War, where you move. Devil May Cry was the perfect example of what you were talking about. Like, that's just way too much movement at one time. Like, you run around there as Dante, all these flips and kicks and like 128 hit combo. Like, what? It's too much moving around in such a small. Like, I wouldn't be able to do it. Like, I wouldn't be able to do it. It's too much to do all at once. But like you said, more real life, real aspect. I'm surprised. I'm not going to say this. I'm surprised that they haven't introduced Forza to VR sooner. Because Forza, while it's a racing game, is one of the most realistic racing games there is. Like, even when you're playing the game, you can put yourself inside of the car. I mean, the dashboard and everything is like the inside of one of those cars for real. Like, if you're driving a Porsche in Forza, that is the new Porsche, whatever your Forza you're playing. That is they took scans of the actual crap, and it is there in the game. So something like that, I'm surprised hasn't hit VR sooner, because that would, to me, would be way easier, because it's driving. Even if it's racing, it's still just driving.
Yeah.
So I am curious about that. Resident Evil would be dope in VR. It would be dope, and I think it's doable, because, matter of fact, I'm pretty sure. It wasn't Resident Evil, but I think there's a version of like House of the Dead that you can get on like one of the cheap VR things that works on the phone. And once they put the phone in it, you put it on, you can get like a House of the Dead app or like a game, this app, and click the phone in there. I think it's like on the HTC or whatever it is, and click the phone in, and you could play that like I think I tried it one time at the AT&T store, and that was pretty cool. That it was a little bit much moving around, but I still was able to turn, look, and I had to turn, see certain zombies coming from certain angles. If I didn't, it would like vibrate on the side of my head because something was trying to get me over here, and I'm looking and on me. So like, it was cool. It was doable. I didn't feel like I was gonna hurt myself trying to do it. But some of those other games, yeah, I think we're way away from that stuff. Way away from this stuff.
No Dragon Ball. Sorry, everybody.
No, absolutely not. We are not there. We are not there at all. I'm not fixing to sit here trying to like put my hands together like I'm really Goku fixing to try to. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. Yeah, or like what am I gonna, what is it like 10 doing the whole hand thing for the tri-beam? Like I'm not fixing. Yeah, like or doing
this is not gonna work.
Why not?
I'm not doing that, bro.
Did you say why not? It's not gonna work.
It's a lot.
I don't know.
It's a lot. We just aren't there yet. We're just not there yet.
It's more years.
Cause like, let me tell y'all, like Snake he is on the VR bandwagon. Snake is waiting for every bit of it because he wants every single bit of it, and I get it.
Yes.
But we are not there yet. Somebody gonna kill there. They're trying to do this stuff like that. We're not there yet.
Actually, they are. Like, I mean, they've done it. They've actually done it before already. Like they did it with the Wii.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Did you never play the Dragon Ball game on the Wii?
And you know what?
That was actually fun.
Okay, they did that. But you know what happened to a lot of people's TVs? And it's their fault. It's their fault. Let me put that disclaimer in there. It's their fault because that little strap on the end of the remote, the one that everybody ignores because, people want to be super macho and cool. Don't put the damn strap on their wrist. I'm not going to put that strap on my wrist and make them look stupid. I'm not going to kid, blah, 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 blah.
And you said it yourself. It was their fault.
Throw the man wave and throw them up through TV. This is why I said we're not there yet, because there's going to be people that are going to do that. We are close. They're like right there. They are right there. It's just a little bit more tweaking, a few more years, and then we'll have Dragon Ball VR, and you can stand up on your couch, Snake, and like it'd be like, yep, I'm fixing to like do a big thing in this fool's face, like real life. I'm fixing to do it, and you will be happy.
Oh yeah.
And I can see that.
Oh yeah.
I can see that.
They would be coming in here yelling at me every day. Shut up! Get off the damn couch!
You don't understand. Don't judge me.
Get off the damn couch, you stupid.
No, this is the thing. I'll tell you right now. The first time he has to actually do it in a video game, I'm pretty sure. I'm probably going to get a phone call. If not a video, I'll be doing this crap. So just the thing. This is happening. You're going to be standing on this couch.
Hey, what if
It might be that one right there. It be the one right there. That's behind.
Hey, bro, I get you. I do you, man. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. If you can put yourself in the place of like, we can be like Vegito and like do all this extra crazy crap just because you're in VR, bro. Do it. I'm gonna laugh. I'm just telling you right now because it's gonna look funny, but do it. Because I've been in the game, played dope. Like what you see looks awesome. What everybody else sees looks kind of funny because you're doing these moves.
I mean, I actually kind of already do that. I kind of already do that with that one game I have, that one VR game I have. I think, Domingo, didn't you play it when you came over? It was the, I think you might have. I'm not sure.
The heist?
No.
No.
Crap. No, it's a...
Well, while you remember, I'm going to tell you a story. So, speaking of that, people doing weird stuff in video games, so we were all over there just a while ago at Snake's house. His apartment back then. And, it's New Year's, so everybody's sitting up there playing video games. And I picked the one with the scary, I'm scary, dude. I love scary video games, movies, stuff like that. So I picked one, and I'm trying to figure out this is a monster down the hallway. I'm turning my head all like this. I'm thinking that I'm still facing forward towards the TV. I'm all backwards by the couch. My homeboy, Nova, is standing like right here. I don't see him. I'm like, I know something in here. And he's like, Mingo, you real close. And I was like, you away from me? You trying to play the game? I mean, it was the funniest thing. I'm like all turned wrong. the monster trying to come ducking. I'm like real low, like almost to the ground. It was funny. If they would have recorded, it would have been bad. They would have posted like, oh look at me go. I'm all like this. Yeah, fun time. VR makes you do a lot of weird stuff. You think and the thing is, you think that I'm facing forward. No, you like down the hallway for real. You're not even in the living room anymore. Nope. Yeah,
well, people should know that anyway, because I'm pretty sure, I mean, anybody that has YouTube, watches YouTube, they've seen on Facebook, you've seen those videos of people who are trying VR like in the mall, and they do something to scare the crap out of them, and dudes like, they damn near tear up the entire VR thing trying to get away. I used to laugh at that all the time. I mean, we had grown men that like fell on the ground, damn near in tears, trying to get away from whatever it was they were seeing in the headset, because it scared them that bad. I mean, they were screaming and like trying to run away, and one dude like turned to run and forgot that he had the thing on, and it snatched him down. It looked like a cartoon, man. He was running and just all you saw was his feet go in the air, and then he landed. I mean, it was bad. You know, it is all VR. This is why I say it, VR. Some people, it's definitely not meant for everybody. Everybody can't do VR. Everybody can't. Yeah. The people that do understand that they're always gonna get somebody recording you unless you're in your house by yourself, because you're gonna look funny. It's just how it is. You're gonna look funny. I mean, I've seen myself playing VR and I thought it was funny. You see myself inside that little platform thing where you like run playing the game. You know, it's funny. They show a demo of the dude playing it. He's like running. You know, you see him run. It's like, oh, it looks cool because he's running with these controls. He's like shooting it, doing this stuff. And then when you see yourself running like that, you're like, what in the absolute hell am I doing? Like, it looks good in my entire life. This is ridiculous. Like, it was bad, bro. Like, I was super out of shape. And you find out real quick, VR, they let you know. Like, yep, you gotta take your ass to the gym. You out of shape. No, definitely.
Pick your class. What's your class? Sniper. I'm just gonna pick sniper. That's my class. You ain't gonna choose the running gun? No,
bro.
Pick a sniper.
VR.
Sniper.
You damn right. VR, I'm gonna be a sniper all day long. I'm gonna hang back in my little spot, and I'm gonna have my gun, and I'm gonna sit there and shoot people at a distance. I'll keep a nice pistol with me in case somebody try to run over and come get me, and you know, get pow from right there. I'm not running. I'm not running. No running whatsoever.
Curse this sandstorm.
Oh, yeah.
Refuge before the wind scoured the
Anyhow, in quick news, a couple different things. Well, quite a quick news. We get one more main subject out of the way. Watchdogs Legion of the Dead.
What?
Just saw 21 minutes of after gameplay of that. Yes. So the game, the game Watchdogs Legion came out. It's overseas. It's Watchdogs. Well, they have an add-on to it. It's called Watchdog Legion of the Dead. What this is basically zombie horde. Think it's not a horde, but it's like zombies everywhere. Think kind of like Tyler, think State of Decay. In the aspect that you can turn on your teammates. There's a thing where you can turn on people. Or like the Division, where you can work people in the dark zone, and then you turn around and turn them. Like, this is a thing in this game. Like, you have to work together whenever there's zombies, because while they're not all fast, there's times there's a lot, and if you don't work with the people around you will get jacked up. And it's kind of crucial. You either work with them, or nothing, y'all make an agreement to leave somebody behind and let them get jacked up. I saw both of those happen in that game. I saw one where a dude was fighting for his life, and everybody else decided, you know what, this shit ain't worth it. I'm gonna save ammo, and they left him. He was left, and he was ate up by zombies.
Wow. Seems fun though.
The thing is, and then you hear voices, and it's like this action. They're like, they'll say, it's like highlights everybody. It's kind of everybody knows, okay, I can turn on somebody if I really want to right now. Like I can go shoot this dude I was just helping or this chick I was just helping right now, take her stuff and keep moving on. Wow. So you have that aspect, like you have to keep that in mind that they can just be like, you know what, I don't need you on the pow. Like you're dead. And it used the, what I could tell, it used the match from Watchdogs Legions. It uses the same maps and everything else. So it's real open, like a lot of several people playing one time. So I don't know how many people are allowed to lobby, but I saw more than 4. So, I mean, there you have that. I mean, there's going to be the ability to have multiple people in there like that. Which, you know, I guess if you think about like a division, technically, I guess they could have whatever they want. But you go to Dark Zone, you know, you run into how many other people are in the damn Dark Zone. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, Ubisoft makes Watchdogs too. So, you know, there's the correlation there. It kind of fits, you know, like, oh, well, we had that many in this game, we can have that many in Watchdogs. So, there is that. Like I said, it was 21 minutes of gameplay. It was very interesting. I didn't see anybody like get bit and slowly die and turn into a zombie. I don't know if that's a thing. They did not show that. I did see people get bit and like have to fight them off. And I saw a guy that was, you know, he was getting attacked by like 3 of them, and some people had decided to help him, and they killed everybody that was on him. He was pretty jacked up, and in fact, the screen turned gray, and it was like he was on the verge of death, but he didn't quite die. And he was able to move off and I guess heal himself or whatnot, and was, you know, he was back to normal. But it definitely caught my interest. I was like, you know, okay, I could see this. You know, Watchdog mechanics kind of, but zombies. And it was kind of convenient then, you know, Legion of the Dead. Like, I was like, I see what you did. You know, Watchdog Legion and then Legion of the Dead. I got you.
Yeah.
So it was nifty. It seems pretty fun. I'll be definitely trying to catch some more. It was like I said, it was just an alpha. It's not even in beta yet. It was just the first run through. But it was pretty slick for something in the first run through. I will say that. I haven't heard if they're going to have open beta for it, or if they're going to have, like, you know, tests that people that own the game can maybe, you know, do for that mode. I guess it's going to be a mode. I don't think it's a standalone game. It's a mode. They haven't said if they're going to have, you know, beta for that or not, but do be looking out for that. I will keep an eye out. And once I know more about it, I will be definitely sharing that information. Because it looks interesting. And, you know, who doesn't like zombies? You know what I mean? So, there is that. Now, as I was about to say, we want to do the quick news that I don't have a whole lot of information on. And I will take any opinions from anybody in the comment section, or anybody in here with me right now. Virtua Fighter 5 released some gameplay footage. Look pretty dope. You know, the little bit I saw, dope. Look like the mechanics are going to feel about the same as they used to with Virtua Fighter anyway. You know, if you like me, if you're OGs and you played like the first Virtua Fighter, you already know what the mechanics were. You know, and anybody that says that their favorite character was not the ninja, you're a liar. Because I think everybody learned how to play the game with the ninja first, and then they ventured to other people. You know, that it was too easy to not pick the ninja. His name was Cage, I think. Yeah, Cage. That was his name. It was hard not to pick the pixelated ninja on that game because he was dope and he was easy to use. But a little bit of song, like I said, it looked good. Graphically, it looks pretty good for a fighting game. It's not, you know, it's not Mortal Kombat. You know, visually, it's not Mortal Kombat, but it fits. It has its own realm. It feels very Virtua Fighter, which I like. I don't think everything should be like Mortal Kombat. I think it stays true to the Virtua Fighter, you know, element as far as the look. If you saw any of the last ones, you kind of know what I'm talking about. You know, it's not like old school pixelated Virtua Fighter like an arcade where it's like you know, he had like 4 blocks where his arm, and he had like a hand that had a knuckle that did this, and that was like his hand. Like, it's, you know, it's updated, but it still feels like Virtua Fighter. Like, it doesn't feel like they tried to just port, you know, Mortal Kombat code over and change the characters. and it doesn't quite feel like Tekken. You know, Tekken is its own thing, and they didn't venture too much into that. You know, like I said, they stayed true to the element of what Virtual Fighter was and the way it feels. Like watching it, it still felt like Virtual Fighter, so I'm into that. Some of the characters, they were returning characters, look like some of them look like they actually let they aged people, which kudos for that. I think that's I forget the ninja name. Is it the samurai? Is it Kushida, or he has a samurai sword? He has the big like spiky hair. Like he was in Virtual Fighter. I can't think of his name right off from that, but I saw what looked like was supposed to be his character without the sword, and he had gray hair. So this guy's age in the game, they're giving him gray hair, which I thought was interesting. But okay, you're showing some time difference. I can feel that. And it could be not him. It could be adding a different character. They've added characters over the years in the Virtual Fighter. So I mean, it could be. It could be somebody else. I did not see the big guy who was supposed to be like King the rest of them Tekken. I didn't see him in the meeting out there. There was a few characters that I didn't see. But everything looked fluid. It didn't look like it was extra choppy. It didn't look like it was going to be very difficult. I hope it's not as, sorry, gosh. I just hit my leg on this deal right here. Sorry about that. I hope it's not as complicated to do some of the moves like Mortal Kombat, because this is as Mortal Kombat. Some of the moves, I'm like, bro, listen, I'm with it. I understand that the essence of Mortal Kombat is always like you always had to do like the down left, down left X, or down left B, or whatever. It always had the moves like that. We had multiple button inputs. But this Mortal Kombat is like, bruh, I have to like pause, look at the move, and I do it. And like the tutorials, I sit there for 30 minutes on one like combo in the tutorials. I'm like, what is the hell is going on here? Like
That's the input, man.
I resorted back to a lot of button. Well, I resorted back to a lot of button mashing because I'm like, you know what? No, because I can button mash and do awesome combos and actually still win. While I'm still trying to do this one damn combo that's coming out. I have to do it. I can accidentally do it. And when I accidentally do it, I'm like, hey, I did it. And it's okay. So, but it didn't feel like, I'm hoping it's not like that. It didn't seem like that when they were playing. It was very, very smooth, very fluid. The combos looked nice. Everything it didn't feel choppy or anything like that. So it did look good. Definitely something to go check out. It also is on IGN. For you to view at any point in time, just to check out. If you're a Virtual Fighter fan, for sure, go check that out. And in slight other news, I guess I can talk about it. It's not officially out, but a well-known YouTuber, I think he calls himself Super Saiyan Cab, is what he calls himself. His YouTube channel is dedicated to Dragon Ball, basically. Different aspects of Dragon Ball, different games of Dragon Ball, not just Xenoverse. He heavily is into Xenoverse, but he does a lot of, he displays a lot of people that mod Xenoverse, and he also talks about Dragon Ball Fighters and some of the Dragon Ball mobile games. He talks about those too. He displays those. But he got his hands on content deal early. He reported on the portal that I talked about, where somebody had forced it out onto their system so they could see it, or to so they could see it. He got a hold to it early and got to see a little bit of it. Wasn't a whole lot, about the size of what it is, and he was impressed with it. He was definitely impressed with it. What he saw, he gave it pretty good praise. He wasn't too harsh about it. Like I said, his name is Super Saiyan Cab on YouTube if you want to go check him out. And see what he found in Xenoverse 2 with the content on TV. So, but outside of that, I am a news out. I have exhausted all my resources. I have exhausted all. If you are tuned in right now, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate everything. Make sure you continue to like, comment, subscribe, always share, and keep us in mind. Keep tuning in to us. We like the interaction, like I always tell y'all. We love the interaction. We love to talk. If you got something that you want to talk about, hop on in. Let's talk about it. Shout out to Snake playing Conan this whole time. Giving y'all a sample of what they just put on the Game Pass. That is free on the Game Pass for you games, for you Xboxes. It's on the Game Pass. It's 108 gigs, but it's on the Game Pass. So definitely something to check out. But until next time, I'm gonna sign off. Of course, in the him, that's Snake, that's Mingo D. We will see y'all next time here on the Get Down.